the, actually pole on the field, comes across the line, wins an Eibach GLTC for the first time. Rosenberg Catil, second and third, and here comes the...
Good morning, day 3 here at Gingerman, Saturday. We got race 2 coming up. We didn't really talk about race 1. It went pretty well, 3rd place. Nothing really happened. We kind of sorted out the positions on the first lap, and then we just kept running flyers after flyers. It was basically just an HPDE. The top 3, we were like all within, I think, 2 seconds of each other. And, you know, we were all quick. We were all running several lap times, which meant, you know, there wasn't really much racing. Congrats to Eric Magnussen, the gold BMW. You know, I think that's his first win in GLTC, which is awesome. And I did not expect his car to be good here, but yeah, he made some setup changes, put some aero on it, and it's flying. So second place was Maton Rosenberg. You know, me and him were kind of pogoing back and forth. You know, he would make a few mistakes, and then I would make a few mistakes, but yeah, it was a tough race. It was very hot. Yeah, last night was fun. We went to the concert, and then we got back around like 12:30, and then me and James Howland, we just decided to do a 5K around the track, and we finished at like 1 a.m. or something like that. So I'm a little tired today, but no, I'm feeling good. Man, really loud. But anyway, yeah, not a lot of changes for race 2. I did put the other set of tires on the car just to see if there's maybe any difference between the tire compounds. I took a packer out of the front, the little plastic washers out of the front suspension, which basically reduces how much bump stop I use. I put tape on all 4 corners in the wheel wells, and that tells me if the tire is hitting the chassis. And so far this weekend at this track, I have not touched the tape once, which means I probably don't need as much packer as I normally run. The curbs here are not that big. So I took one packer out of the front, and the idea is that it's gonna maybe let the car kind of be a little bit softer on the front end, especially like, you know, going into the corners and stuff. And then the other setup change I made, I raised the rear ride height about half a turn. So that's what we call rake. Basically rake the car up a little bit, and it just makes the car a little bit looser in the corners because you're raising the roll center, and then you're kind of changing the roll center axis or whatever you want to call it. But usually raising the rear does affect the car quite a bit. So those are the main changes to the car. We just changed the air filter because I was behind Maton pretty much the whole race, and dude, he kicked up so much dirt. You know, he was dirt dropping it everywhere. I thought he was gonna fly off track a few points. But anyway, we got the blank headlight in because I lost a corner, but for the first time, it wasn't because I touched somebody. It just flew off, which was kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, race 2 coming up. I'll be starting P3 again, and this time I'll be on the outside, so maybe I can make something stick on the inside too. We'll see.
All right, lights are out on the safety car. That means we're going green. Eibach GLTC from Gingerman Raceways. We come out of turn number 11 and head towards the green flag. It will be further down the straightaway. We won't get the green till the turn 1 flag stand to make sure everyone's up on the front straight. There's a look at Adam Jabay holding the flag. Green flag, and we're underway in Eibach GLTC. Nice orderly start into turn 1 for the first time. Magnussen leads the way. It was someone in the background. I think that was Andy Smedegard. Took a look 3 wide, but wasn't able to get there. And here comes Eric Catil on the outside of Maton Rosenberg. Those two have battled wheel to wheel here dozens of times.
Oh, Paul Darling gets really wide at 2, and Magnussen chose the inside line into 1, and he took advantage of it. He's put enough of a gap so that Maton couldn't get overlap into turn 2.
And this is great battle here for second place. Catil is going to get the spot. That's in a very important position for him to grab right now in that much lighter Honda Civic. A little bit of dust flying out of turn 3, but everything so far so good.
Eric got such a better drive out of 3 that he got rid of the overlap between him and Ton. He's got a clear grasp on second place right now.
A really, really important pass in this championship fight. I don't know, Magnussen looks like he's just dialed in this weekend, but so was Kittil at CMP. If you recall, 17-second win margin there in South Carolina. So Eric Kittil in this Hybridracing EG knows how to get it done. He's closed in on Magnussen for the lead. These cars, again, 1,000 pounds different in their builds.
Yeah, and he's closed the gap to Magnussen. He's made it a two-way fight for first, and they've kind of left Matan behind. We'll see if Matan can get warmed up a little bit and start catching these guys. They themselves have a pretty good gap. Yeah, Matan has opened up what must be a 10-car gap to Meadows, and Paul Darling has gotten left behind. He's no longer in the top 5. I'm not sure what's happened to him. Hopefully it's not a problem out on track.
Dana Basinski was side by side with, I think, Matt Waldbaum as they came into turn 11, and the big lockup into turn 11. Did everybody get out of that okay? It seems like they have. Crossed the stripe there. Magnussen leads, Kittil right behind. The battles are deep and thrilling all the way through the field here on the opening lap.
Yeah, these top 3 are really close together. Then you got Meadows in 4th, and then you got this big fight for 5th between Waldbaum, Dana Basinski, and Andy Smedgard.
Turn 11. Here's your battle for the lead. The gold M3, Eric Magnussen, not able to get away. Great run by Kittil, leaving turn 11. He is closing in this Hybridracing EG. This car has had so much done to it to basically take on the silhouette of a 1992 era JTCC Honda Civic. Sparks flying from the titanium rub blocks underneath the nose of that car. He put brand new ones on for this season.
Eric is slowly reeling him in, and he gets overlap on the exit of 2. Now he's got the advantageous inside heading into turn 3.
Side by side for the lead. Magnussen pulls ahead, but Kittil later on the brakes has ABS this year. It's going to help him here at turn 3, but the long way around might be the way to win this battle side by side as they leave corner number 3. Kittil trying to sneak by Eric Magnussen. He can't do it here. They'll have to wait behind him. Matan Rosenberg smells blood in the water with these two battling.
Yeah, these two battling has brought Matan back into this fight, and if they keep doing this, if this becomes a three-way fight, Eric Meadows is going to be right there to catch up to them, and then Matt Walbaum is right there in 5th. He's trying to close that gap himself, and Thorn and Smedgard are fighting it out there for 7th and 8th.
Catil the long way around at turn 7. Can he get overlap there? Not quite. He'll have to tuck in behind. Tough math to go side by side here, but he is hounding Magnussen to the inside of 9, and here comes Catil, door to door once again, and the battle is on at the front of the field.
You don't see a lot of wheel-to-wheel action in 7, 8, 9. He's got the outside. He's going to try and get better drive out of 10B to try and challenge him into 11 for that lead.
It's going to be tough math here, but who does Matan Rosenberg push? He's not going to even get there because Magnussen, again, with the torque of that LS swap M3, clears Eric Catil, and Catil's now vulnerable to the Falcon Corvette in trail, but Rosenberg won't go for the lunge this time, but he's sizing up that Honda Civic in front.
Yeah, Matan has to choose if he's going to try and work with Eric to try and catch up to the other Eric for the lead, or if they're going to fight it out amongst themselves.
Three-way fight for the top spot. You mentioned Eric Meadows. He just ran the best lap of the race. You see the purple wipe across the screen. Fastest car on the racetrack right now. Here's Ryan Power and Joel Morrison. This is a battle down the order a little ways. Here comes Morrison to driver's left. Jackie Ding chasing for that position as well.
Yeah, great battle here all around the field as we look down into turn 3. Magnussen still with the lead over Catil and Matan. They're separated around equally. Meadows is definitely closing that gap, and Walbaum himself is closing it. Dana Basinski has now cleared the rest of the field for 6th place. He's going to try and catch Matt as well.
The temperature has dropped a little bit, but the embers are still glowing in this battle for the top spot, aren't they? 3 car lengths between them, maybe 2. Catil much better in sector 2, where you're leaning on the downforce, you're leaning on the balance of the car. That M3 out front is a lot heavier. Here's a battle a little bit deeper in the field. Thorn and that's Andy Smedegard. They've swapped positions, so move Thorn to 7th, Smedegard to 8th, and Tony Marchev watching on for 9th.
Yeah, we'll see if Smedegard can keep fighting out with Thorn. Oh, as Eric gets overlap into 8. Let's see if he can have the drive to maintain it into 10B. Looks like not. He didn't have a lot of success staying on the outside of 10B. He's going to try to over-under it on Magnussen heading out of 10B.
Yeah, but again, it's going to be so hard for this car to match the performance of Magnussen up on the back straight. Magnussen's added this big rear wing. He said the aero really helps out here at Gingerman Raceway, but again, the strength of that M3 in the straight line, just leaving Catil in the dust. So where Catil is good in the corners, it's just very difficult to use that as an advantage. So he's going to have to get it done in sector 2. So over here by 7, 8, 9 as we watch. Go again. Here comes Catil. He needs to take advantage of this in this section. He needs to figure out how to clear Magnussen over on this side of the racetrack. He's running out of time, running out of laps, but not running out of gusto. Around the outside here at 10B, pulls even with Magnussen.
Yeah, Catil is trying to force a mistake by Magnussen. He knows he can't make the pass on the back straight, but he's just trying to force Magnussen into a big enough mistake so he loses momentum, so he can try and get an advantage on the braking zone of turn 11.
Yeah, that M3 is just a rocket ship, isn't it? But Catil's able to eat it back up here. Watch the acceleration out of 11. Going to carry much more speed. He's going to have a look here, but where do you go with it? Nothing to do on the front straightaway, but Catil is all over him here. 4.5 minutes to go, and the battle's on again at the front of the field. Magnussen on defense. He feels the pressure from this white and green Civic in trail.
All Eric does is he needs to gain, he needs to make overlap into turn 1 so he can ride him all the way 1 and 2 and try and establish position. But again, Magnussen's got that better drive on the second phase of that exit. So again, I think Coutil's looking for an advantage on the entry and then trying to stay ahead of him into the next corner.
As long as he can get him to compromise his line, he stands a chance of winning this race. But this is going to be such an uphill battle here. This M3 has a much more advantage. Trouble on the front straightaway. Joe Tulo has lost a motor or something. There's smoke coming from it. We'll see if there's fluid down. We got a race all the way back no matter what. But here comes Magnussen leaving 6. And Coutil is closer than he was last time around into an area he's much better.
Coutil keeps catching him in the complex of 5 all the way through 10B, but he can't find a way to put the power down the back straight to pass him. Meanwhile, they've lost touch with Matan Rosenberg, who's falling into the clutches of Eric Meadows for that 3rd place spot.
Again, on the grass to the inside, trying everything, every inch of the racetrack in Coutil's hands now, jumping the curbs. He needs to get overlap in a corner and keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to find a way to do it in the middle of the track. I don't think he's going to be able to find a way past him into 11, but
what he needs is a push from Matan Rosenberg. Can Rosenberg get to him and give him a shove up the backstretch? That would help. I don't know if Coutil's got enough gear.
I don't know if Matan would be willing to do that. They're fighting for the championship. If he puts him into 1st place, that's a bigger point gap that he has to make up some other time.
It's true, but if you get Coutil and Magnussen to battle side by side, it gives him an opportunity to pass for 2nd or even the win. Up onto the front straightaway, no white flag this time, so at least 2 laps to go.
And no debris flag either, so that car must have not put down any fluid, which is great. That leaves this battle going to the checkered under green conditions.
Coutil trying everything to the inside again, leaving turn 2. All he needs to do is get Magnussen to compromise his line. Looking left, looking right. Last time he swung to the outside. This time he's going to try to keep it up the inside. You see Magnussen cover to defend, but is it going to slow him up on corner exit? He's doing such a nice job defending in this gold BMW.
Yeah, he's not defending a clear air there. He knows that he gets just enough out of the overlap to cut down on Eric and maintain his racing line into turn 3. I think Magnussen is perfectly comfortable here. He knows he doesn't have to beat him in this sector because he can go past him into turn 11 and maintain his lead. It's going to come down to a mistake by Magnussen, I think, for Coutil to get past him.
And for Coutil, this is frustrating. If you look at the lap times, they're almost identical, but they just make the time in such different ways, and it's a way that's challenging to make the pass. But he's going to try to tuck to the inside. He's going to go the long way this time around and try to swing the outside. But he's out of control and touches the glass. Coutil leaving nothing on the edge of the road, and here comes Rosenberg to take advantage of it.
And the other interesting thing here is Coutil has had 2 weekends with warnings, so he can't be making contact. He can't do, a little cheeky shove, a little bit of a bump and run. He can't do it. He's going to get a penalty from that, so he has to race completely clean to get this pass done.
Yeah, he's vulnerable now to Rosenberg, but Rosenberg's and Coutil's car are very evenly matched on the straightaways. Rosenberg's car does not have the straight line advantage that Magnussen's does, even though they're V8s. Again, completely different styles of V8 builds, so they're not necessarily going to run the same straight line speed. White flag, 1 lap to go here in this 15-minute race.
And now Coutil, he just has to defend his position. These points matter. He has to be able to get these points over Matan. I think he's got to switch his focus now to just maintain that 2nd place spot away from Matan.
What a battle. Here comes Eric Meadows trying to get up onto the podium here in that black Corvette behind Rosenberg, whose car just shot fire. All the cars that shoot fire are better than cars that don't shoot fire. That's what I've always said. And Rosenberg might be about to lose a podium spot here.
Yeah, Meadows has done a really great job of getting back in touch with this group. If Matan makes a mistake, Meadows is going to jump on that for sure.
Into turns 5 and 6. Huge flames out the sides of the side pipes of Magnussen's M3. I don't know that Coutil's got anything left. He's used up all of his tire, but valiant effort, I have to say, in that Honda Civic.
You could see the desperation. That last lap, he tried to make a move. He tried to force something for Magnussen to do abnormal from what he's used to doing to force a mistake, and it caused him to go wide in 9, which took him off the back of it, but he's catching back up.
Not done yet. The race isn't over till the checkered flag flies. Coutil's going to have to find some magic if he wants to overtake this gold BMW. Magnussen has made no mistakes yet.
Yeah, very, very impressive race from Magnussen. And Coutil got overlap again on exit, but Magnussen's going to rocket past him down the straight. Yeah, Coutil's playing the championship game here. He's trying to race clean, not get any penalties, not get any further warnings.
Well, if they finish like this, Coutil will retake the championship lead, but Magnussen is going to eat up their advantage in the season-long points. Magnussen is going to come out of turn 11, and for the 2nd time in his career, after yesterday's win, he doubles up. 2 wins for Eric Magnussen at Grid Life Midwest Festival. Coutil, Rosenberg, Meadows, Waldbaum, your top 5. What an amazing fight there as we go back to the start-finish line to catch the rest of the field here. It's going to be Robert Thorne down in 7th place. done, well defended. Eric Magnussen is going to be really frustrated by that because Eric is a hardcore competitor. But again, the cars are making the same lap time. You just have to take advantage of it where you can. Magnussen wins race 2. Eric Magnussen half a second back. He was tighter and closer than that for the majority of the race. Matan Rosenberg, Eric Meadows, Matt Walbaum, your top 5. Basinski, Thorne, Marchev, Zhang, and Chin, your top 10.
Oh my gosh. That was a tough race.
But yeah. 255 front. 595 rear. Hold on, wait. It's an 82. No dyno. We're looking for 28, 3, and 614. No dyno. No dyno. 225 rear. Yep. Bro, I almost died.
You got that dog in you, bro.
Dude, I was like, I'm gonna go around the outside, and as soon as I went out there, it was just pure marbles, and I was like, oh, we're going up, and then I was like, oh.
I can't leave him enough room, but that might not be the best place to go.
Yeah. I was like, I kept trying to shove it on the inside, and dying, but like, the car has so much power out of it.
Okay, guys. Nice. All right.
That was a good race. It was tough. I had him everywhere except for the straightaways. But got ahead of Matan, so you know, fighting for the championship, right? So that's 1 point ahead of Matan right there. But yeah, Magnussen 2 wins now, so he's gonna be in the championship fight too as well later in the season. But yeah, car's feeling great. The car was awesome. I just couldn't do anything. You know, these drift cars, but. Yeah, trying to pass him on the inside of turn 9, trying to pass him on the outside, hit the marbles, almost flew off the track. Pretty sketchy, but yeah, we're in impound right now. P2, race 2, so that's a 3 and a 2. Pretty happy with that. Then we'll do we're doing like a special qualifying format event later in this afternoon, and then we got race 3 tonight. So let's see if we can maybe move up the grid with qualifying, get ahead of some of these V8s, and hopefully once I'm ahead, I can keep it there. So up next is the knockout, pursuit, shootout. It's a new format in grid life, so it's a little confusing, but basically if you ever watched the Chili Bowl, apparently they do like a top 10 regrid. Position 10 goes against position 9, and then the faster one of those two moves on to the next round, and then it's 9 versus 8, and then 7 goes up, and then 6. So basically every round there's a car that 2 cars battle for a faster lap time, and the faster car moves on. So it's possible that P10 can move all the way up to pole position if he beats every single person from 9 through 1. What did I grab? I think I grabbed the 6. So I grabbed position 6, which means I'll be going against whoever won the battle between 7 and 8. So then if I run a faster lap time, then I'm gonna go against position 5. And then the winner of those 2 battles goes against position 4, and so on until you get to position 1. So here's the thing. If you draw a 1, that basically guarantees you start on the front row, because you're either going to win that battle and start on pole, or you're going to lose that last battle and start second. And guess who grabbed the 1? Not me, not Matan, but Eric Magnussen, the guy who won the first 2 races. So guarantees that he's going to start on the front row, which is very, very lucky for him. So yeah, this new format, it's interesting. It could be fun to watch, but there is a lot of luck that is involved, and you know, unfortunately, it benefits some people and then it really screws others. But yeah, starting P6, the good news I think with that situation is that I'll have the car nice and warm, ready to go. So the battles after that first battle, if I stay in it, should be pretty good because the tires will be up to temp and the car. Thanks, man. and the car should be at its peak. So hopefully we can move up. I think Matan Rosenberg grabbed the 4, so it's it's gonna be pretty tough. So hopefully I can get my way back up to the top. Hopefully at least top 4. Pole would be nice. The car was really good that last race. I think we have a lot of pace in it. So I'm interested to see how this pursuit regrid shootout situation works out. So that's up next.
The way that this works is you basically send out the 2 cars, and the order that they're going out is randomized. They basically picked from a hat the number that they're gridding out. So the first 2 cars are going to go out. They're going to run a lap time head to head. As you explained, whichever car is slower is going to pit in, and then the next car comes out on the racetrack, goes head to head with whoever the winner of that last bracket was, and it's basically last man standing.
Yep.
So whoever, if you win this, you're going to have to make it all 10 laps effectively. So
Yep.
this is going to be a lot of hard running here. But Tony Marchev pushing hard here, and we're going to start this. This is all about lap time here, so we'll see what they've got next time around. Down into turn 11, he'll be the first one to score a time.
Yeah, this is all about setting clean, consistent laps. You have to hit your marks and hit them every single lap. And the cars are it's gonna end up wherever you are. You just have to set the best lap time you can and hope it's fast enough.
140.852 is a pretty good
time. Yeah, that's a pretty good time for these conditions. Not that far off pace, and he does beat Eric Meadows, so Tony Marchev is gonna stay out there. Eric Meadows is gonna qualify 10th for this 3rd race.
And we'll see what he can do here. As they head to turn 5, Adam Jabay is pointing and throws the checker at Eric Meadows. So he is done. Robert Thorne will go through, and now the bracket will become 17 versus number 80. It's going to be hard to withstand the whole session here, but again, random draw for the grid spots. Big slide for Robert Thorne. Here they come across the stripe. Does Tony Marchev improve or stay? He will stay the 140.1, and Robert Thorne 140.2.
Wow.
That was really close.
Less than a 1/10 of a second separating the 2. That's a great lap from Tony Marchev.
Yeah, Gary Wimble has been really quick at times when he's had this car running right and has not been the ball, but Tony Marchev ups the ante again, a 139.755. Gary Wimble's not enough, 140.692.
Are listening to this. They can hear this on the track PA, so now they know, oh, Coutil basically has to go out there and do what is a top 10 lap in morning conditions right now, and that's really, really difficult to just snap into that mentality and make that happen right away.
Yeah, and this is the championship leading car also, by the way, Eric Coutil in this 82, so Tony Marchev is definitely up against a weapon here. Yeah, we'll see what Eric Coutil has. He's been pushing very, very hard to try to defeat that 330, the gold BMW. But championship leader won at Carolina Motorsports Park, came up short at Road Atlanta, but also scored some good points there. And his effort is season long. And he has built almost the perfect mousetrap for Rywire GLTC this year. But he and Tony Marchev have battled before. Think back to Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course last year. Was not a broadcast event, but whoa, Coutil drops the tires in the sand. It's going to slow up his momentum, and he's going to be fighting an uphill battle now.
Well, fortunately, the run-up between the start, finish, and 1 isn't that long, but now that gets in your head. Now he's like, I have to push all of these. I have to take all the risks in all these corners to make up the time I just lost. Oh, real sideways on entry into 2, clips that inside apex, but he gets back on the power. I don't think he lost too much time there. Let's see if he can find the lap time to try and beat Tony Marchev. And he's going to cross the start finish right now. Let's see what he can do, and let's see what Eric can do. Eric showing in 5th currently.
And a 139.172, is that enough?
From who?
And so it is better.
That's a great lap from Coutil, 39.172 after the troubles he had in turn 1. That's a great executed lap from Eric. So Tony bows out. He'll be no lower than 6th, I believe. Healthy mindset, that healthy emotional state to try and set another flyer this next time by. He's going to come and set up for turn 11, make sure it's clean, and gets on power early. Oh! He gets big slide, but catches it in time. Doesn't lose too much time. Again, it's a short distance between the start, finish, and turn 1. Doesn't lose too much time there.
Is a front-running machine in the Valkyrie Club TR category. So he knows how to get it done on one individual lap, but chasing a driver that has been an Rywire GLTC champion, who's the front runner in the points, this is a tall order.
Yeah, absolutely. And a 39.1 is nothing to scoff at in these conditions from Eric. So it's going to take a lot for Dyno. Oh, he gets a little bit sideways through turn 8 and now into 9, but I think he caught it just in time not to lose too much time. Sets up into the middle of the track, comes in, hits the apex of 10B nicely. That's very nice and clean.
E.g., Catil had a 139.172 last time. What will it be this time? Will it be an improvement? It will not be quicker, but Basinski across the stripe only does a 140.569. I don't think that'll be enough. Head-to-head. When have they not? I mean, it's almost turning into, as the checker is being displayed, to Dana Basinski. And we've seen it over and over and over again. One of the clips on the YouTube channel for Grid Life was these two battling for the win last year. They did it again at CMP. They did it again at Road Atlanta. They're going to do it again here this weekend, as they already have. And right now, head-to-head, which driver can run down the best lap time between the two? Across the stripe, here comes Baton Rosenberg in pursuit of Catil.
Nice and stable under braking, gets turned in, uses most of the track on exit, sets up, again, more further outside of turn 2 than I typically see, hugs that apex and exits out nice and clean turn 2. Good start to the lap for Matan.
A little better there. It was better than everybody by a mile.
Yeah.
And then at Road Atlanta, it was more back level-headed, even-keeled between the two. Catil at turn 11. We'll see if he can improve on that 39.1. That was a pretty solid lap time. We'll keep an eye on the scoring pylon. Is it faster? A 139.172. It will stay. He doesn't go any quicker, but what does Matan run?
Waiting with bated breath on Matan's time. The gap looked to be about equal, 39.5. That's pretty stout. I would not be surprised if Eric gets knocked out from that lap, but they were very, very close the whole time. The gap looked very consistent throughout the lap, so it's going to be hard. It's going to be, we'll see. We're keeping an eye on Adam Jabay here at turn 5 to see who he points his checkered flag at to represent the end of their session. And next up is going to be Matt Walbaum in the walled guard machine. And it looks like he does point it
At Matan.
Is that Matan? I think it was Matan. They were kind of close to each other, so it was hard to tell. So, I mean, for Catil to keep doing low 39s, to be faster than 39.5 on his third lap is very, very impressive.
And again, for Matt Walbaum, maybe there's a strategy to hounding Catil, being in the mirrors. We haven't seen a driver get this aggressive with it. Again, I don't know how much gap was instructed here, but he's going to make sure Catil has to keep an eye on his rear view. I
will say, though, out of all the drivers in this field, Catil's the least likely for that to impact him mentally. He is cool as a cucumber no matter what. So I don't know if this is going to work out for Matt, because now he's going to worry about what Catil's doing in the braking zone. See right there, he's gaining on him in the braking zone.
Oh man, this is basically bracket battle race at this point. But again, the other thing is that it could end up slowing him down if he's too close. So let's see what Matt Walbaum's got.
Yeah, he's given the advantage to Eric here. Eric can just drive however he wants, but if Matt somehow runs a corner well enough to establish overlap on Catil, it's going to throw everything into chaos. So this is a very, very unique strategy for Matt. I'm sure he thought about this before the session and kind of thought about what would be the best strategy to ensure that I'm successful here. Yeah, see, he's looking for that overlap, but he kind of had a compromised line through turn 3. The gapping is pretty similar, although I think Eric's grown the gap by a little bit by car length here.
But what can Catil do? Just back him up at turn 11. If you're this close, there is a strategy to this. And you know, there's been some suggestion already. We'll make it a race. Absolutely, I'm on board with trying all sorts of new things. But the way that this is set, there is a strategy. If someone's going to follow you super close to try to bully you, all you have to do, back up the last corner, get that gap to the checker, you'll win.
I do want to give credit to Matt. He's made this he made this even more exciting for us announcing here. But I think this is gonna end up firing back on him. I don't think he's gonna benefit from this. If you're the car behind him, you're getting held up. Otherwise, you run the risk of running into their rear bumper, which is definitely not the way you want to go.
Tahoe's watching. He goes, "This is why it needs to be roll races. This is perfect."
Roll racing down the back straight. Let's use that to determine.
But I think Walbaum has been outdriven this second and third sector here. So I think Catil, by backing up Walbaum in that first sector, has got himself an advantage. We'll see what the times are. Again, the ticker will only show best lap, but I got last lap here on speed high. So Catil out of turn 11. Is it better than Walbaum? It has to be, looking at the gap. But what is the time across the stripe there for Catil? It is going to be a 1:39.3 to Walbaum's 1:40.5.
The consistency is hugely impressive from Eric Catil.
This is at, but it is going to be.
That looked like it was pointed at Matt. Yep, he's slowing up. Yep, as we expect. So now Eric's been on this for as long as Tony has.
Clear and sunny all weekend long. I don't know that he's going to have the pace to knock Catil off the top step, though.
Yeah, unless Catil makes a big mistake in turn 11, he's really increased the gap here this lap. Nonetheless, a really great effort from Eric Grimm. He has a chance to qualify in the top 5 here if he can finish this lap nicely. Let's see where he ends up here.
Yeah, out of turn 11. Very clean, tidy lap. Maybe not quite pushed to the edge, but Eric Catil across the stripe. We'll see what he's got this time. A 139.695 again. And for Ayrton Grimm across the stripe, it was a 142.068.
Yeah, man, it is hugely impressive what Eric's doing. And now, out next, the last driver to challenge him, Eric Magnussen. So
it's a head-to-head battle between Eric Catil and the 330 of Eric Magnussen. Whichever car beats the other is going to win this battle here. So Magnussen comes across the stripe, and all he's got to do is defeat Catil. We'll see if he can do it.
Catil's got the advantage. His tires are nice warmed up. He knows exactly what the track conditions are like. Magnussen is new to this, but he's got a colder engine, colder intake, making maybe a little bit more power. Or his tires just like a little bit colder conditions. We'll see whether he can bring the fight to Catil. Totally different strategy from Waldbaum and Ayrton Grimm. He started with a big gap to Eric. He doesn't want to have his lap interfered at all visually by what Eric's doing.
So into turns 5 and 6, this car much heavier than Eric Catil's. He put this rear wing on just for this event. He wasn't sure if this was going to be the weapon to have at Gingerman Raceway, but has elected to go the aero route. Told me last night, absolutely the aero was the answer. We'll probably go back to that NASCAR-style rear blade on the deck lid for Road America and beyond, because that formula has worked out well for him. And we saw earlier in the battle with Catil, this car motors up the straightaway, no problem, but it's really sectors 2 and 3 that this car seems to struggle in comparison.
Yeah, it's the wing helps in the very technical 7, 8, 9 section here of this track, and it does take a higher power to weight penalty than the spoiler does, which is why a lot of the times you see them going for the spoiler at Road America, because it gives them more power for the long straightaways there. Here comes Magnussen into turn 11. Let's see if he can dethrone Catil and take pole position here for race number 3. Eric just crosses the line now.
And for Eric Catil, it is going to be slow internet up here, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think...
Magnussen just ran a 138.
So he ran a 39.7. Magnussen a 38.6. That's hugely impressive from Eric Magnussen. He takes pole position over Eric Catil, who runs his lap time. The 39.7 is his lap time, and Magnussen took the fight to him and got it done in 1 lap. Congratulations, Eric Magnussen. That's a fantastic effort to get that pole position for race number 3.
Well, that's not what Catil wanted to see. Eric Magnussen will have lane choice and first reaction to the green flag later today, but Eric Catil will start alongside him, and we saw these two battle door-to-door plenty in race 2, so more coming your way.
That's it. I don't know. Either got first or second. I was too concerned on the last lap, and honestly, the front tires were pretty shot. Car was super pushy. But it didn't really matter. Inside, outside, I'm front row no matter what. Second. That was good. Happy with it. It's fine. It was good. Come on. It was a good place.
All right, so been pretty busy. The qualifying show was actually pretty fun. It is very easy to get screwed. Like Eric Meadows, who basically started first or second in that shootout. And despite having the fastest lap time in race 2, he got knocked out immediately, which means he's starting 10th. So that kind of sucks. I basically made my way all the way up to the front row. And I knew in the last heat against Eric Magnussen, it didn't really matter to me whether I was gonna start first or second, because the front row here, it's kind of irrelevant where you start. At that point, you know, my car was struggling a little bit with front tires. But yeah, P2, which is awesome, and I knocked out Matan Rosenberg. So that's pretty good. He's not gonna like that. I'm sure he's pretty pissed. Yeah, quick update. I just got on the dyno, not to check power, because power is pretty good. I already checked it yesterday. But I just took the restrictor plate off the throttle body detune because I want to see how much this engine will make full power on the Grid Life dyno. And the end result was, I think it was 214.7. So 214 horsepower, which is pretty good because I think at Mid-Ohio, my target was like 216, which puts me in the next tire category. With 216 horsepower, I'd have to add about 250 pounds of weight. But I think I need to try it because as you guys can tell here, I'm getting pretty destroyed on these straightaways. just getting murdered out there. So as you can see, you know, even though the car handles really well, I can't really do anything with it, because if I go side by side and then come out of a dig like turn 10, I just get gapped. So I think Mid-Ohio, I think I'm gonna need to try out how the car works with more power, more weight, and potentially a wider front tire. I don't know about that yet, but anyway, yeah, I'm just looking at the logs right now, on the dyno logs. One thing I was a little concerned was, with it being full power in E85, was I gonna have enough injector with E85? And it looks like I did. Injectors are maxed out at 85%, so I think I'm good there. But yeah, almost 215 horsepower, which is exactly where I'm targeting. The only downside is that it's not a great power curve. So basically what that means is I need to make a little bit more power and then pull it down just a smidge. So I'm thinking I might have to either run a bigger filter, because I run those pretty small K&N filters. So I might have to run a bigger filter, maybe even a bigger throttle body, and potentially maybe even a better intake manifold. And that should easily get me, I think, closer to 220, and then I can pull it down to 216 and run a little bit more flat power. But yeah, that was pretty fun. I've been wanting to do that for a while. I've been curious to see what this engine would make, and now I know. So now I can go kind of plan accordingly for the next event. But I got to focus on race 3, which is coming up next. I learned a few things in the qualifying shootout. Track got a lot worse. The car is real pushy. So I did a little bit of, I put some wedge in it. You know, some sort of track wedge. Turn the wrench in the rear window to jack up the left rear. Yeah, so no, basically I lifted the left rear a half a turn, and that basically lifts the left rear, which puts a little bit more force into the right front, because I think I'm struggling a lot in the right-handers. All the right-handers here, they're really slow and it's hard to get the car to pivot. And then I also lowered the right front half a turn, and then I lowered the left front a full turn. So I basically, if this is a car, I basically did this. So I leaned it, no, I don't know. I put a lot of wedge in it, a lot of weight into the right front. Long story short, and then I increased basically the ride height, the rake as well. So hopefully that makes the car a little bit looser, and then also puts a little bit more force into the inside right front. So we'll see how that does. But other than that, I'm not really changing much. I didn't change any power based on where I've been this weekend. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try my best again to get Magnussen, but dude, that car, it's so fast. He ran a 38.5 in that shootout, which my best was a 38.7 in really good conditions in the morning, and that was like late afternoon. It was hot, the track was greasy, so we'll see.